In the throes of World War II, amidst the brutality and chaos, emerged a group of extraordinary women whose bravery and skill left an indelible mark on the conflict. These women were the aviators of the 588th Night Bomber Regiment of the Soviet Air Forces, commonly known as the Night Witches. The Night Witches were formed in October 1941 by Marina Ruskova, a famous Soviet aviator known as the Soviet Amelia Earhart. Ruskova used her influence to convince Joseph Stalin to create 3 all-female Air Force units, arguing that women could serve as effectively as men. The 588th Regiment was one of these units, and it was commanded by Major Yevdokia Bershanskaya. The regiment was composed entirely of female volunteers, many of whom were still in their teens. These women underwent rigorous training that included flight instruction, navigation, and mechanics. They not only flew the missions, but also maintained their aircraft, serving as mechanics and ground crew. The training was intense, often conducted under harsh conditions to prepare them for the realities of war. The women flew obsolete Polikarpov Po-2 biplanes, which were originally designed for training and crop dusting. These planes, made of wood and canvas, were slow and offered little protection. However, their slow speed and agility became an unexpected advantage during nighttime bombing raids. The planes were difficult to spot with radar, and their maximum speed was lower than the stalling speed of enemy fighters, making them hard to shoot down. The primary tactic employed by the Night Witches was simple, yet terrifyingly effective. They would approach their target at a high altitude, then idle their engines and glide silently to the bombing point, releasing their bombs before restarting their engines and flying away. The eerie whistling sound of the wind through the struts of the Po-2s, combined with the sudden appearance of bombs, led the Germans to call them Nachthexen, or Night Witches. Operating in pairs, one plane would fly as the decoy, attracting searchlights and anti-aircraft fire, while the other would drop the bombs. They would then switch roles, maximizing their chances of a successful mission. This tactic required precise coordination and immense bravery, as the decoy plane often faced intense enemy fire. The Night Witches flew in total darkness, navigating by maps and compasses. The open cockpits exposed them to the harsh elements, and they often flew at low altitudes to avoid detection, making them vulnerable to ground fire. They typically carried 2 bombs per flight, necessitating multiple sorties each night. Despite these challenges, the Night Witches executed over 23,000 sorties and dropped more than 3,000 tons of bombs over the course of the war. The missions were fraught with peril. The Po-2s had no armor or defensive armament, and the pilots flew without parachutes to save weight. They faced extreme cold, often flying at altitudes where the open cockpits exposed them to freezing temperatures. The regiment sustained significant losses, but the courage and resilience of the Night Witches were legendary. One of the most famous members was Nadezhda Popova, who flew 852 missions during the war. On one mission, her plane was hit by enemy fire, and she crash-landed behind enemy lines. Remarkably, she and her navigator evaded capture and returned to their base. Popova's bravery and determination were emblematic of the spirit of the Night Witches. Another notable member was Yevdokia Bershanskaya, the regiment's commander, who led by example and inspired her pilots through her leadership. Yevdokia Pasko, a navigator, flew 1,008 missions and received numerous decorations for her bravery. These women, among many others, displayed exceptional heroism and dedication. Life for the Night Witches was grueling. When not on missions, they lived in basic conditions, often intense near the front lines. Despite the harshness of their surroundings, they formed close bonds and a strong sense of camaraderie. Their shared experiences and the constant danger they faced forged a sisterhood that was vital for their morale and effectiveness. The women of the 588th Regiment were also subject to the same military discipline as their male counterparts. They adhered to strict schedules, conducted regular training, and maintained their aircraft meticulously. The Po-2s, while outdated, were robust and relatively easy to repair, which was crucial given the frequency of their missions. The Night Witches were highly decorated for their service. 23 of them were awarded the title Hero of the Soviet Union, the highest honor in the country. Despite their contributions, they were often overlooked in post-war accounts, receiving recognition and accolades only years later. One of the highest honors came posthumously to Yevgenia Rudneva, a navigator who was killed in action in 1944. She was awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union for her bravery and sacrifice. Rudneva had kept a detailed diary of her experiences, which later provided valuable insights into the daily life and challenges faced by the regiment. The story of the Night Witches is a testament to the extraordinary bravery and skill of these women, who defied stereotypes and overcame immense challenges. They remain an enduring symbol of women's contributions to the war effort and their ability to perform under the most demanding and dangerous conditions. Their legacy lives on, inspiring future generations of aviators and highlighting the vital role women have played in history, even in the most unlikely and perilous circumstances. The Night Witches not only contributed significantly to the Soviet war effort, but also paved the way for future generations of women in aviation and the military. Their story is a powerful reminder of the courage and determination that can arise in the darkest of times, and their exploits remain a remarkable chapter in the annals of military history. The Night Witches' resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering spirit continue to be celebrated as a shining example of heroism and dedication in the face of overwhelming adversity.